In front of me today, I have three different phones: the Google Pixel 2, the iPhone 8 Plus, and the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Now, you may be wondering why I have such an assortment of phones in front of me, and the simple answer is because they all have their own voice assistants. So, the Pixel 2 has Google Assistant, the iPhone has Siri, and the Samsung has Bixby, and it does have Google as well. But for this test, for this video, we're just going to imagine that it doesn't, and it only has Bixby. So the idea here is that, I'm not the biggest fan of these virtual assistants. I mean, they're okay, but I really haven't found a very good use for them. They do interesting things sometimes, but I have written it off as a gimmick at this point. It's been a while since I found a virtual assistant or some kind of operation that I can't live without. The extent of my use would be saying just, hey Siri, set an alarm or something like that. But, that's just it, and I really don't use it beyond that. However, I do know that some people actually do use it for a lot of quick operation and command. So what I'm going to be doing is I've come up with a bunch of responses to see how each one of these reacts, how they pick up my voice, how they do with contextual awareness, and how they manage, multiple instructions. So I'll ask them a question, and I'll keep asking them a question related to that, and see how far they can manage to pick up. So let's start off with a very simple one. And how I'm going to be approaching this is the Google Assistant first, Siri second, Bixby third, and I'm going to do it one at a time, because if I do it all at once, you'll get a ton of mixed responses, and I won't be able to understand anything that's going on, and the audio will get all messed up. So let's start off here. So we'll go with wake me up at 7 a.m. There we go. As quick as that. Wake me up at 7 a.m.
Your 7 a.m. alarm is on.
Wake me up at 7 a.m. So Google and Siri did it quite quickly. Bixby's taking its own time here. It's taking its sweet time. I'm going to try one more time. It's failed. Set an alarm for 7 a.m.
Sure thing. Your new alarm will go off in 8 hours and 56 minutes.
All right. There we go. For some reason, Bixby has a lot of these noise and sound effects that I really don't think are useful, but, it is what it is. So let's move on to something a little bit more complex. So, who plays Walter White on Breaking Bad? There you go. Who plays Walter White on Breaking Bad?
I'm not sure.
Who plays Walter White on Breaking Bad?
Here is what I found on the web.
So, as you can see, Google was quick. Immediately gave me the answer as Bryan Cranston. Siri just says, I don't know. And for some reason, Bixby just doesn't even understand what I'm saying. It said, what it interpreted it as was, who plays Waterway on Breaking Bad? So, just to show you guys one more time, I'll repeat the same question. Let's see if Bixby is able to give me an answer. Who plays Walter White on Breaking Bad? So,
R.J. Meth. Roy Frank R.J. Meth, reborn August 21st.
Okay, so it picked up Walter White, but it gave me the wrong actor. It gave me the actor that played Walter White Jr. instead of the actual Walter White. Not to mention that it picked up White as Y, even though I was slow and I was very clear as to what I was saying. So let's move on. Let's try a sports score. Who won the Super Bowl? Who won the Super Bowl?
The NFL season is over. Philadelphia beat New England in the Super Bowl by a score of 41-33 on February 5th, 2018.
Who won the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl was won by the Philadelphia Eagles.
So all three of them got this answer right. However, Siri gives you the most information. It gives you the score. It gives you the each the score throughout the game for every quarter. It's a lot more informative. It even gives you which stadium it was played at. So, there's a lot more information here, but all three of them got the answer right on the first try. So let's move on into something a little bit more tough. So I'm going to start asking questions, and I'm going to start asking questions related to that question, so see how the contextual awareness of each of these are. How old is Robert Downey Jr.? How old is Robert Downey Jr.?
According to my sources, Pedro Jr. is 31 years old.
How old is Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr. is 52 years old.
So in this case, Siri got the name right, but for some reason she's showing me the wrong person. So I'm going to try one more time to see if it works. How old is Robert Downey Jr.?
Pedro Jr. is 31 years.
How old is Robert Downey?
I don't know what Deshaun Downey's age was.
How old is Robert Downey Jr.?
According to my sources, Pedro Jr.
How old is RDJ?
Let me.
How old is Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr. is 52.
So, as you guys see, Siri struggled with getting Robert Downey Jr. So, she brought up two wrong people. She didn't get it at all at one point. So, a little bit of confusion going on there. So, let's move on. Who is he married to? Who is he married to?
Robert Downey Jr. is married to Susan Downey.
Who is he married to?
Let's take a look at what I found.
So it just didn't even pick it up. So let me repeat this and see if it's able to pick it up again. How old is Robert Downey Jr.? How old is Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr. is...
Who is he married to?
Here's a summary from Wikipedia.
So,
Marriage is a socially or rich...
Bixby is not able to answer a single question with context. So, let's move on and continue on both the iPhone and the Pixel. So, how old is she? How old is she?
Let me check that. Okay. I found this on the web for how old is she?
So even Siri has stopped contextual awareness ahead at this point. So is able to get about 2 questions in, and then the third one it just dropped. Google, excellent job. Watch this. How many kids does she have? So there we go. So it just goes on and on and on. You can keep asking Google questions, and it's like a more real conversation. It picks up things, and it knows what you're talking about based on your previous searches. Siri is decent, but still, it's not as good as Google is, and Bixby was just completely useless with context. So let's try translation next. Translate, where are you to German? Translate, where are you to German?
Wo bist du?
Translate, where are you to German?
All right, we need to download Google Translate first. We can download it in Play Store.
So both the iPhone and Pixel pick it up like that. Bixby, not so much. It says we need to download it from the Play Store. And just to show you guys, the Bixby fanboys, I have Google Translate on this phone. So if I tap Play Store, you guys can clearly see I already have it. I can open it. So I have to use the app for translation. I cannot use Bixby. So let's go back and let's try the next question. How far is Abu Dhabi from Dubai? How far is Abu Dhabi from Dubai?
Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates, is about 78 miles from Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, as the crow flies.
How far is Abu Dhabi from Dubai?
Turns out I'm not able to do that.
Once again, we see different varying levels of results with Google Assistant coming out on top. So Google Assistant gives me the perfect directions with the amount of time it'll take to get there. So 1 hour and 23 minutes, 139.4 kilometers is what what Google says. We have Siri saying Abu Dhabi is 78 miles from Dubai as the crow flies. So it's not directions, it's just actual distance without any kind of traffic or road calculations. Bixby, it just says, I can't do that. So this is kind of forming a pattern. Siri seems to be doing okay, Google is doing really well, and Bixby is just struggling. So let's move on into one of the last questions. Now this is interesting because I'm going to say, I went to Dubai last summer. So I'm going to ask all three phones to show me my pictures from Dubai. So let's do this. Show me my pictures from Dubai. So there we go. Show me my pictures from Dubai. Show me my pictures from Dubai.
Turns out I couldn't find anything like that.
So, again, in this case, I think that Siri did a lot better. It opened up the Photos app and immediately goes to all the photos that I took in Dubai. Google does this a little more in a compact way. It actually asks you if you want the actual photos or web images or what you want. Now, these are actually, the first couple of them are my photos, but you can tap on it to get more information, but I liked how quickly Siri just responded. So, you can tap on Google Photos and all the photos will load up. And just to prove to you guys that I do have Dubai photos on my Samsung as well, let me just really quickly do this. Show me my photos from Dubai. So there we go. Once again, it gives you the answer perfectly. Now that I'm done asking them questions, let me explain to you some of the more individual features that all three of these phones have. Now, I'll say that, I was, some of the fanboys of Bixby will say, well, Bixby is not supposed to be an assistant. He's supposed to help you access the phone's features. But I'll be very honest with you guys, that's not how Bixby is marketed. Bixby is marketed as basically a replacement to Google Assistant, and it does not do as good of a job. In my experience with it, it struggles to pick up words. It does not understand what you're saying, and I speak in a very clear tone, in what I think is a very clear tone. I don't have too thick of an accent in any manner, and Google Assistant and Siri never have a problem recognizing my voice. There's only a very few selection of words that these two phones can't pick up when I say them. Whereas Bixby, it just, even very simple words. Like in my Bixby setup video, I showcased this where it asked me, where I tried to set up a command saying good morning, and I tried to say good morning 5 or 6 times, and each and every time it picked up something else but not good morning. So it got get morning, it got gift morning, it got so many different types. But this, for some reason, just, Bixby just does not seem to understand voices as good as anyone else. And I'm sure if you give it to somebody with a little bit of a thicker accent, then I'm sure that they almost won't be able to use Bixby because of how poor that software recognition of voices is. Now that I've bashed Bixby enough, let me show you some cool features it has. So you can have these cool, quick custom commands like this. So let me just show you. Bye.
Turns out it's already on. Bluetooth is already off.
There we go. So what this was I set up a command where I told it to turn on an alarm, turn off Bluetooth, and lock the screen. And all I have to say is bye, and it'll do all of that with no problem. Now that is a feature that is only for Bixby. Google Assistant doesn't have it, and Siri doesn't have it either. One more cool thing that Bixby has that these two don't is it has voice unlock. So let's check this out. Unlock my phone.
Tell me your voice password to continue.
Hey, it's me.
Which one?
There we go. So, it can unlock your phone with your voice. Now, it's not the most secure thing in the world, obviously, but you have the option with it thanks to Bixby. Now, while Bixby also has that, it also has Bixby Vision, where, you can look up things using the camera as a path, as a viewfinder. You know, you can have you can look up things such as wine, food, places. You can translate text on the go, but that's all shared in common with Google Assistant. What is unique is you can try on makeup. So now this feature for some reason is not enabled on my phone. I don't know why. The app is up to date. Everything's up to date. It's just not on my phone. But what it gives you is it'll basically look at your face and apply somewhat of similar to what a Snapchat filter would be, where you could just put on makeup, and what it will do is it'll show you different styles, and you can buy them directly from the app. Now this is very cool because what happens is that, you know, it gives it a direct link to product, and it's just there. But, you know, there is that option, and it's called Bixby Vision. Now, it's not too far off from Google Assistant, as I said, but it's there. Now, Apple has the least software type things. And one more thing I'll go about Bixby. So Bixby does have its own little kind of news information page here where it gives you all the quick links. It's similar to, you know, what the Google has as its own assistant. If you go to Google now, you can see all the cards and stuff. So it's similar to those cards. You have that on Bixby as well. It's kind of a news feed type of thing. Now, when it comes to the end of the day, I think the choice is pretty clear here. Even though Bixby has those software features and it allows you more access onto the phone, it just doesn't work well. The problem with it is it struggles with voice detection. It's slow, and there's just a lot of things it can do. There's absolutely no contextual awareness. Bixby's over a year old now, so that makes things just worse. Maybe if it was brand new and only a couple months old, I can understand it being a little bit, hesitant or not having as many features. But it's been over a year, and Bixby, honestly, it is not matching up to either Siri or Google Assistant. So we're just gonna forget about that. So that's third place. Between Google Assistant and Siri, I think it's pretty obvious that Google Assistant is a lot better. It can do a lot more, and it's a lot more contextually aware than the iPhone. Not to mention that, it just does a lot better at recognizing voices as well. Siri does fairly well for herself, but I think that at the end of the day, Google Assistant is definitely a lot better. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you use any of your voice assistants? Because I truly don't. I very rarely use them, and I'd like to know what you guys think about it. Do you use it? Because if you do, it would be interesting to know what kind of capacity you use it in. So definitely let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.